and by the introduction of two behemoths of British culture. One's just come back from the toilet. One, a renowned burger van vendor and star of stage, screen and shooting stars. The other, an octogenarian Watfordian with gout and a new Radio 4 show. They're on an exhaustive and exhausting tour of the UK a bit later on in this country. The UK in this country, same difference. To tell us about it is Barry from Watford and Angelos Epithemiou. Thanks very much for coming, guys.
Nice to be here in the UK, in this country.
Yes, yeah, we love it. We love the UK, don't we, Barry?
We do, in this country we do.
We love it
He's just... Poor Angelos, he ran in because it just... an awful situation where he's
really embarrassing.
trying to get in a toilet here at Six Music.
Yeah.
And you know when you're not sure if the door... the door is locked or broken, he's going at it with his shoulder.
I was giving it a right old barge.
A right old barge. There's always a chance Morrissey or someone will come out and go, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
you know?
Yes, if you very much don't mind, actually, I was just finishing myself there.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it wasn't him.
Was anybody in there?
No, mate. No, I gave it a good old heave, and eventually it went in, and then I went in, and then I
Good
come
old
out
Eve,
again.
and it all come out, I expect.
Well, you know,
Enjoy your breakfast.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
what people might not remember, first children of the programme might, but others might not, late interlopers, that Barry from Watford used to be a security guard here at Western House for about 18 months, didn't you? I don't know if you remember that, Barry, because it was about 8 or 9 years ago. But you used to come up regular, didn't you, and bring our posts?
Yeah, come up here on a Friday and do some post. Really, the truth is, it was an excuse to do some jokes.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
It was. And then what happened, of course, Steve Wright in the afternoon found out about him, and you completely left us in the dust, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, well, I've moved up a bit.
You've literally moved up 2 floors and about 7 million listeners.
Funny enough, I'm doing Steve Wright this afternoon. I'm not doing Steve Wright, that'd be horrific, wouldn't it? But I'm doing his show this afternoon.
I've already warned listeners they might be offended, so it's not like they've not been told.
No, they won't be offended by that.
No!
I know these listeners.
Yes. They're very eclectic and they're very broad-minded.
It's on digital, isn't it?
It's on digital.
Yeah, no one listens anyway. It's
No,
fine.
exactly.
Do you still have the burger van, Angelos?
No, that blew up, sadly.
It literally blew up.
Yeah, I went up in smoke, mate. Yeah, I don't know who done it, but I think it was my brother, Apostolos, what done it. Well, I know it was him what done it because he told me, so I do know that. But I got quite a good sum of money from the insurance for that. Yeah,
Can I ask you something about that then? Because what the listeners will be thinking, what you've just told us is that you paid off your brother a certain amount of the insurance money to do it.
Well, I'm not saying that legally. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that.
Legally, you're not saying that.
I'll be very, very careful.
Very, very thorny ground.
Yes.
Legally.
Sorry about that,
Legally.
We're on thin ice there, aren't we?
Very thin ice, mate.
But what you've done since then is you've built a fantastic career for yourself. I mean, we all remember you from the telly and Shooting Stars and all that, working with some of the great luminaries of this country's comedy scene.
Yeah.
When did you and Barry get together? And what was the first? Because you got a wonderful podcast to which I've subscribed, which is hilarious.
The Angelos and Barry podcast.
When did we get together?
Well, we done a show.
We met in the bog, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We done a show on. I mean, you think no one's listening to this? That show we done on that radio station who ended up owing us $3,000. We won't talk about that.
Legally, we're on very thorny ground there.
We should get T-shirts with that made on the front, shouldn't we?
But nevertheless, they did. We left.
If they are listening, we do want that money.
Very much so. And we left there because I didn't and we moving on.
Yeah.
We decided to do our own, very much our own podcast, and it's doing ever so well.
It is doing very well.
Yeah,
I mean, for what it is, it's doing very well. For what it is,
for what it is,
For the input of effort to the output of listeners, you think you're getting a pretty decent whack out
I
of
would
it?
say so. We don't really plan it.
Yeah.
We don't plan
Remotely
it. I mean, there's no
plan it.
really about it.
No.
There is no planning. It's
There's
just-
no plan. And very often at the end, I'll say, well, should we keep that bit in? And he goes, oh,
Leave it.
Leave
We're
it.
not going to spend another 15 minutes editing this tap.
I've got to get home.
Exactly. There was one
New
occasion.
Tricks won't watch itself.
There was one occasion we said something about David Van Day, which at the last minute we decided to take out.
Thank God for that.
That wasn't very
Thank-
nice.
Because
Thank
legally you're on very
Very
thorny
thorny
ground,
ground.
aren't
Let's
you? That's the
leave
thing.
that.
We are quite often on very,
Legally on
Yes.
very
thin
thorny
ice.
ground.
Yeah, but it's a laugh, you know, and people do tend to like the show. And if you get a chance, Angelos and Barry, it's
Well,
not
you give it a
dissimilar to
plug.
this.
No, exactly. When you say there is literally no planning and we just put it out without any editing, it sounds exactly like this 3 hours,
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
No, can I ask you, I need to fire a few questions at you here. For the people that don't know everything about you guys, Barry from Watford, of course. And are you 82 now, Barry?
Yes, I am.
He has been for some time.
I have.
Yes, I
been.
was going to say, I mean, at least for the last 8 years.
I'm 82, but I've got the body of an 8-year-old. I really do.
You are looking in pretty good nick at the moment, I've
Thank
got to
you.
say.
Thank you.
Is that because of Margaret's cooking, your wife? Because she does a good cheesy leek bake, doesn't she?
She does do a good cheesy leek bake, and beef spread is exceptional. I
Did
like
she make
to-
her own beef spread? That's amazing, isn't it? Because you can get it potted, but she does her own.
Well, she does, and it's lovely as a starter, and it also excellent as a splashback against the around the sink. Very durable.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, a little bit like sort of very hardened when it's
Very hardened. Very, very hardened. No, I like to keep myself in trim. I do like to keep myself looking good, and frankly, at the moment, I can't beat them off with a dirty stick.
Yeah, I
you
bet
know,
you
the
can't.
ladies.
Well, you're about to. Well, you go on tour later this year.
Yes.
How are you dealing with the fame? Do you get, in all seriousness, do you get groupies?
We get people coming up to us all the time, like, wanting photographs and all that. And we're like, just taking the photos, and we're like, excuse me?
Yes.
We are not pieces of meat.
Yes.
This is our own personal time.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was driving through somewhere and I got pulled over by the police, and he clearly wanted a selfie or something like that. And I said, sorry, mate, this is not the time. I'm driving, I'm going somewhere, leave it out. So you got to let them know who's boss.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You need boundaries, I think,
Oh,
Angelos.
God.
I
boundaries,
went
yeah.
to
Boundaries.
apply for a new passport, and she said, "Can I see your document?" I said, "All right, okay. Look, it's my own personal time. Now. All right, one selfie. Who's it to, my darling? Because we're not public property.
No. You have to maintain some sort of,
Professional distance.
That's the word.
And it's your persona, isn't it? You've got your persona and then the real you,
Yeah,
haven't you?
exactly.
And that's for the people that you love.
Exactly.
That's
I mean, really, to all the listeners, you're a sort of slightly laconic, trendy sort of.
That's right. Attractive.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But when you come in here and we see you not wearing any pants, sitting there,
It's like
Smoking.
peeking behind the
peeking
curtain like the Wizard of Oz.
They did get a peek behind my curtain earlier on as well. I apologise for
steady
that.
on.
They are quite loose, these trousers, this morning. Are you going to help Angelos find love? Or have you already found love, Angelos? Because last time I read in, I think it was Star or Take a Break magazine, they said you were single. So,
Well, listen, I'm single, but that is out of choice, mate. I like Barry. I have got them coming at me from all angles,
Yes.
and I could take my pick from all the best birds
Best
in the
looking
world,
birds,
But I choose, because I'm trying to focus on my work at the moment.
Yeah.
I choose not to go out with none of them and do nothing with them.
Yeah.
So when we go on tour, it is going to be a problem, isn't it, Barry?
yes, it is. I mean, he's a very attractive man.
Extremely attractive.
Extremely attractive.
and I think that it's a matter also, I would have thought, when you're on tour, it's a bit like sort of, you know, when Zeppelin went on tour in the 70s or something, you've got a performance to do at night, and if you spend all night then, you come off stage carousing with young people, you know, doing whatever it is that people do in hotel rooms, you're not going to be able to focus on the show in the evening, are you?
Yeah, but I mean, we in terms of focusing on the show, as long as we've got all the birds in the hotel, we can pretty much make it up.
Yeah,
you know,
I
when we
see.
go on stage.
Yeah. I mean, I've many a time I've been up there, and we do our live shows in London. All the birds, they're dressing me with their eyes, and we often think that afterwards we'd like to go out, but we're very, very disciplined.
Yeah.
Very
You've got
disciplined.
to be.
You have to be.
You've got to be. You have to be. You can't go fiddling about. You know,
No.
you've got to be. Really,
You've got to be
very
focused.
Plus, I'm
careful.
married.
And that's,
You see?
let's not forget about Margaret.
Let's not. We try to.
But it's not easy, is it? I mean,
No.
your children shopping around for retirement homes for you now, Barry? Are you getting to that point where you're starting to think about things like that? I mean, I know you're very, very fit at the moment.
Yes.
But
Well,
at some point,
I dare say at some point. I mean, I might move in with him.
Me.
He's got a lot of cans
My
of
TP.
paraffin in there. If you can move all that out and all them.
But
all
I'm
them
banging
old-
the petrol, aren't I?
It's banging the
I love petrol.
what, you stockpile petrol?
Yeah.
Was that one of the reasons that the van went up then?
I would have
That was a
thought it
separate
probably
issue.
was one of the reasons why it went up so successfully.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the catalyst.
But I mean, if
Well,
there's
the
any,
match was the catalyst, I
Yeah, that's
imagine,
right.
wasn't
And it
Yeah.
wasn't
It wasn't
struck
your
by
brother.
me.
It wasn't your brother either.
if there's any room, I probably wouldn't move. At the moment, he's got all them bottles of water that were nicked in Deptford at
Yeah,
the
Watford marathon.
They're all
Well, if
taking
no
up
one
a
wants them, mate.
lot of space they take up.
Water and petrol, they're my things.
We wondered who had taken those, and now we know. What I was going to ask you about as well is things like I'm 44 this year, but
Get out.
I know.
Get
What do you
out.
think?
You-
Higher,
No,
higher
shut
or
up.
lower? Higher
You
or
down
lower?
as
Shut
48.
up.
You had me thought
Yeah, I
more,
did.
closer to 50.
Yeah, I would have said so. Yeah.
But even I get annoyed about the fact that you can walk down a high street these days, but you can't find a bank.
No.
But you can find a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Now, are you?
Sometimes you find coffee shops what used to be banks.
And that's
Yes.
when it really annoys me.
Yeah,
like when you
does it?
see a church
Yeah.
that is now a pub.
Oh, yeah.
What is that all about, guys?
That is bang out of order.
Yeah.
There's one near me in Bush. Are you familiar with
Watford
the Bushy area? Yeah.
I am familiar with the Bushy area.
So I've
yeah.
heard. But up there, there's one, a lovely church. Beautiful church.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful church. It's now a sort of disco pub drug den.
That's it.
Seem right.
There's one near me actually, and when I first moved there, there's this big old church up there,
Yeah.
and at 11 o'clock Sunday morning, there's all these blokes stood outside this church with football tops on and
Yes.
all that carry on. I thought, blimey, this is a religious area, isn't it? What an unusual crowd. to
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
church. And then they open their doors and you find out what's really going on.
Oh yeah.
Blue Wicked in the aisles.
We went to, Westminster Cathedral
Oh,
the other
yeah,
week.
yeah.
And
Well,
our
they turned that into a pub,
and
haven't
when
they,
our
yeah?
grandchildren and their
Oh yeah, lovely.
There's a sort of non-stop karaoke. You go in there
In
now.
Westminster
it's a
Cathedral.
Wetherspoons, yeah.
You turned Westminster Cathedral to Wetherspoons.
I don't know where it's all going to end.
Yeah.
You know.
Unbelievable. 2 for 1 craft beers at
That's
Sunday
it.
Sunday
That's it.
lunchtime.
They fit in the odd royal wedding, but then apart
I mean,
from
the
that,
thing is, you have to knock on a special part of the wood, you
Yeah.
know, to be let into the pub section. But
Yeah.
it is definitely there.
Oh, that
you
is
know. It's on
absolutely
the
shocking,
internet.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking. Well, listen, tell us a little bit about Barry's Lunch Club as well. You've,
thank you.
Because it happens.
Oh, all right. Oh,
I think
blimey.
it's
At last.
tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes,
11:30 a.m.
Get a pen, or just let them get a pen.
11:30
Just a
a.m.
minute. Get a pen,
Get a
everyone.
pen, get
do,
Appointment to listen.
Right, got a pen?
Yep.
11:30 tomorrow on BBC Radio 4. For your listeners, get someone to show you where that is on the dial.
Well, they never tune out of this, you see.
No, that's it. And it's on 11:30. It's called Barry's Lunch Club, and it's ever so funny.
Is it?
Oh, it is
Pick
funny.
of the day all over the place, isn't it?
Oh, it's very well.
What kind of what's the format then?
Okay, very briefly, it's set in a like a U3A club.
Okay.
It's for people over 60, but
Yeah.
don't let that stop you. There's
No,
got
no.
proper jokes in it. And the idea is that me, Barry, I've taken it over and I offer advice to the over 60s. And really, it's a chance for me to do a lot of stand-up comedy.
Oh, you've got through the back door.
Certain,
Are you doing your Waitrose stuff?
I'm not doing the weight. I've stopped doing
You've
that.
rested the Waitrose stuff,
That was
haven't you,
very
Brian?
funny.
I like the Waitrose stuff.
But that ends up, someone else has stuck that all over the internet. So when I do the Waitrose
He's
Essential,
killed it.
It's killed it.
You've killed it.
Nearly finished. Stephanie Cole is in it, and Philip Pope. That's it.
There you go. That was an easy sell, wasn't it? And Minty Biscuits, of course, your Stairway to Heaven.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Minty biscuits. We've got some minty biscuits outside.
And let me tell you as well, what I do need to do at some point, Barry, is introduce you to
Pop Nan, who's somebody who pops up on our show every now and again, and she likes to go to HMV and buy copies of Adele albums. And
Oh,
have
I'd
525s, 221s, and a Michael Bublé.
I think you get on very well with
I'd
it.
like to meet her.
Well, I mean, obviously, we'll have to chat with Margaret about that. Maybe
Yeah,
all
of
three of you
course.
could go out.
Yeah, I'd say double date.
But what I will say also is that you can see Angelos and Barry together on their October-November tour, ladies and
But
gentlemen.
before that, you can see us at the Underbelly.
Oh, can you?
Yes,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can. May the 13th.
May the 13th be with you.
9:30 p.m.
Yeah,
Might
please
be-
do that.
One or two tickets left for that.
There may be one or two.
There may be. Yeah.
Well, listen, we've got to sift through the fan mail now, which we're inevitably being hit up
Yeah,
with, and we'll
exactly.
pass that on to you. But thank you so much for coming in and taking the time to get up these stairs, because I know how difficult it is for you.
Oh, zip.
But Angelos and Barry, good luck with everything, and we'll see you later in the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Top of the
Bye-bye.
shop.
Bye-bye.
This is Bill
Bye-bye.
Baird with especially for Barry, World Gone Deaf.